Hello from ITU Telecom World here in Geneva, Switzerland, where I'm talking with Dr. Bruno Lanvin, who is the Executive Director of eLab at INSEAD. Dr. Lanvin, welcome. Let's begin at the beginning. What is eLab at INSEAD?
INSEAD calls itself the business school for the world. It's the major provider of MBAs in the world right now, more than 1,000 per year. And it's very proud of being a truly global school, having campuses in Fontainebleau near Paris, Singapore and Abu Dhabi. eLab within INSEAD is a think tank which looks at three major themes. One is what we call ICT metrics, how information technology relate to competitiveness, for instance. The second theme is innovation, and the third is about skills and talents.
And in your view, what are the most pressing issues facing the ICT industry globally today?
Well, I would say there is quite a paradox there. The main challenge for me is to make the best of the opportunities that exist. Clearly, expansion growth has been tremendous over the last few years, including since the world got into this economic crisis we are now familiar with. The challenge is how to make the best of ICT as a tool for recovery and growth. And to do that, you need to convince people who have nothing to do with ICT. You need to convince the prime ministers, the ministers of finance, ministers of education, justice, all of them need to be aware of what ICT can do for them and how it can contribute to recovery, jobs, and creation of growth.
This ITU Telecom World is very different to the ones that went before it. It's much less of an extravaganza and really rather more serious. Have your expectations been met by being here? And did you have a message that you were giving out to everyone you met and to the fora that you were running?
My expectation was that indeed this ability to communicate the importance of ICT to non-ICT decision makers would be happening. And it has happened. I think the climate of the event as it is now is totally appropriate to the times we live in. We are not anymore in this period where the competition was between manufacturers, producers of services to push their services to the public. We are now in periods where most of the innovation will be users-driven, it will be services and content-driven, and the setup of the exhibit as we see it and the setup of the discussions was absolutely in harmony with that. We heard decision makers, private, public, indeed indicate what their goals were, and we heard the ICT sector responding, we hear you, we understand you. And the major difference I see between the climate this year to what we have seen in previous years is that people have been listening more. We are not anymore in times where people would say, ICT is the answer, by the way, what was your question? Starting to listen to what education is about, what poverty reduction is about, how you fight endemic diseases, and then say, we may have a solution for you, is part of the climate and the vibration I felt here this year.
And what about your key message?
Listening to young people in particular is one of the best ways to know what will be around tomorrow, what will be needed from the industry, what the usages and the contents most required will be. It is important to indeed understand that what we see, for instance, in the area of social networks is not based on tremendous technological innovation. It is based in tremendous innovations in usage patterns and also to a large extent in business models. And I think this was one of the key messages I've heard this year at the event.
How do you think ICT can help drive not just economic development, but also social development around the world?
Well, the ICT revolution is global by nature. Whether we look at internet, whether we look at mobile telephony, etc., it hence requires global standards. There's a major effort to be made in that area, especially regarding broadband, regarding the fluidity, the seamlessness character of how you can access to information and disseminate information. This is particularly important for emerging countries. If one realizes that the majority of enterprises worldwide are SMEs, and SMEs not in the EU sense of companies up to 50 employees, but less than 10 employees, this is an enormously disseminated population. And to make it truly economic and truly social, this revolution needs local content, it needs multilingualism, it needs to actually, again, move locally to make it truly global.
How do you think people can be encouraged to play a more active and positive role in developing and encouraging the digital cities of the near future?
First, the importance is to make sure that everybody is aware of the data we cannot change. And the data we cannot change have to do with demographic evolution. We are going to pass the mark of 7 billion people on this planet. The population will peak at 9 billion before starting to go down. And out of that population, more than 70% of the citizens of this planet will be living in cities. So we have a major challenge to face in making the cities livable, sustainable, and dynamic. They have to create jobs, they have to create wealth. One thing which is absolutely key in this development is that cities will compete globally with each other. International competition has ceased to be just a game being played between sovereign states. Cities, local players, play a role on the international scene. That being the case, the citizens of the future will be interested in engaging in the smart cities that we see sprouting around the world if they can combine local interest, that is showing that the city cares for its citizens, and at the same time keeping the global view that will make the cities competitive worldwide. It's a major challenge, one that we have not faced in the future, in the past, and that we will have to face in the future.
And a final question to you. Can you name one thing that you think needs to be done if we're ever going to get close to the goal of providing more people around the world with more meaningful access to connected technologies?
Be ready to change your mindsets. Those mindsets will include being open, being innovative, being human-centric as opposed to being technology-centric, and be ready for surprises.
Dr. Lanvin, thank you.